Hello everyone and welcome on a conference dedicated to XTPL first quarter of 2025 financial results. My name is Mardoniusz Maćkowiak and I represent CC Group, an investor relations advisor. Together with me we have XTPL Management Board, Mr. Filip Granek, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Jacek Olszański, Chief Financial Officer. The meeting will be divided into two parts, an investor presentation and a Q&A session. You can ask questions through the chat window on your device. That's all from my side for now, and Mr. Filip Granek, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, my name is Filip Granek.
My name is Jacek Olszański, hello.
And it's our pleasure to meet you and walk you through our results for the first quarter of the year 25. Today we will start with a brief executive summary, and then I will walk you through general information about the company and focus then later more on our first industrial implementation and then the pipeline of industrial implementations. And I will also give a comment to our current business development activities. And later Jacek will walk you through the financial results and the outlook of our developments. So starting with the executive summary, we want to highlight that this year started for us with a key milestone, which was the starting of the historically first industrial implementation of XTPL's technology. That's a project that we started early January this year. The industrialization kicked off early January this year. That's with a Chinese partner in the industry of flat panel displays. So we will talk more about that. But the key important information is that at the end of the implementation, there is the end user is a leading flat panel display manufacturer in China. We also continue in parallel other industrial implementation processes, or rather evaluation of our technology aimed at ultimate industrial implementation with partners in Korea, Taiwan, and USA. In terms of our business line focus on Delta printing system, so the tool and the equipment for research and development, we have successfully delivered 3 devices to users in the first quarter of the year, including installation at the Department of Engineering at the University of Cambridge in UK. And we have also accepted 4 purchase orders for the systems. And we want to highlight that one of these orders was from a defense contractor in the United States. And that's the first time we have a purchase order from a defense contractor, which makes us very happy that this industry is also seeing the value of our technology. Finally, we're continue to work on our new product line, which is the Delta Printing System Plus, DPS Plus. And we continue our research and development project on a multi-nozzle development, which will accelerate the printing of the speed and will ultimately open new markets for us.
The main numbers of first quarter 25 are 2 million Polish złotych from the commercial sales, close to 5 million inventories with potential to generate 10 million in sales, 20 million cash position at the end of the March, and 3 DPSs and UPD modules delivered in the first quarter.
So maybe shortly revisiting the XTPL, who we are. We are a deep tech company, deep technology company that incubated the technology for high precision printing of electronics. We have now 4 critical industrial evaluation projects where we reach the level of either industrialization, like the Chinese project, or industrial prototype tool testing at the facility of our end customer. We are running 9 industrial projects in parallel with a pipeline with the potential of revenue generation of roughly 400 million Polish zlotys per annually. And we are now in the process of strategic transformation of the organization from an early stage technology startup to a growing company, scaling company with our goal of reaching 100 million Polish zloty revenue by the end of 2026. The company initially incubated the technology for the first few years of its existence, so we were focused on in-house technology development, productization, and securing of intellectual property. In the years 22 and 24, from 22 to 24, we went out of the building with our first products and reached the level of sales of 10 million Polish zlotych annually by delivering our first products for research and development evaluations to customers in US, in Europe, and in selected Asian countries. And now we're getting out of this initial comfort zone, let's say, of initial customers in academia, all these initial early adopters and innovators, and we're getting into the industrial reality, getting our technology not just in evaluation processes, but also in industrial implementation processes, where we expect the strong growth potential to come. The technology we developed offers a very unique combination of two critical features. One is that we can print very small features with electronic materials like metals, semiconductors, and dielectrics, but also we can print these very small structures with very high ink viscosities. This is a property of ink that is strongly desired now, where there is a pressure for miniaturization and three-dimensional components in microelectronics. And we are a unique provider of the combination of this miniaturization and high viscosity, not just in the region, but really globally. And this puts us into advantage position in terms of fighting for the next generation products and projects of electronic industry. The technology we developed has a very significant IP protection, intellectual property protection portfolio. We have already secured over 40 granted patents in different geographies, and only in the year 24, these were 15 patents granted, and you should expect more patents to be granted as we grow. It is important because for a deep technology company, the very strong value creation for the long-term exploitation of our technology is actually the intellectual property, and we're really happy that we're successful in securing it in different geographies. The company has a already quite diversified portfolio of shareholders. We're really happy and proud about our shareholder base, and we're really grateful for their support over the last years of our development. And these are both mutual funds and investment funds in Poland, in Germany. There is also a Norwegian pension fund present in our portfolio, and we're really happy that there is a growing presence of institutional investors who share our vision for the growth of our technology. Now, going into our current developments, I want to start off by focusing on our historically first industrialization of XTPL technology, industrial implementation of our technology into mass production. This project we announced it early this year that we are going into industrialization phase when we accepted a historically first multiple system order. This is 6 systems order for 6 modules. You will see them as a white box in the graphic here. These are components that are becoming part of a bigger machine. Our direct customer is building this bigger machine, and this bigger machine is then installed at the production line of advanced flat panel display in China, at the production line of one of the global leading manufacturers of advanced displays. We're really happy that the partner trusted us after roughly 1 year of evaluation of the technology, trusted us with this first batch of 6 systems that they ordered. We expect another batches to come after the delivery of the first batch. So far, we delivered 2 out of 6 UPD modules. The next 4 will be delivered over the next 2 months. We're delivering the systems as scheduled by our partner and as scheduled on their side in terms of what is the dynamic of building these big industrial machines on their side. I want to say so far so good. This project is being executed successfully so far without any interruptions, without any problems. The total size of this project that we expect is going to be roughly maybe 50 systems over the next 2 years that will be delivered to the end customer. And each of these modules, after it's installed in the production line, will also generate recurring revenue for our inks, for our spare parts and usable parts that need to be changed every week of operations. This first industrial implementation also has some positive spillover effect to our other discussions with industrial customers who see that XTPL technology is reaching a certain maturity level and industrial acceptance level, which increases the temperature of some of other discussions we have with our partners. So this is exactly what we expected, that the first industrialization will have also a good effect in terms of the word of mouth that is spreading around the industry, especially here in flat panel industry, which this industrialization is targeting. And we expect this will have positive impact on the temperature and speed of other projects. Other than this project with our Chinese partner, which reached what we call stage 4, so a full industrial implementation, we have 3 projects at the stage 4, sorry, the other one was stage 5. So now the stage 4 is where we are just before the industrialization, and we have 3 projects there where we already built industrial prototype machines, or actually our customers built industrial prototype machine with our print engine, our unique component included inside, and these are being tested by the end customers. And then at the lower advancement stage, at the lower development stage, we have over 20 projects that are being evaluated currently in our pipeline. Our focus today is on the top, on the spearhead of this project, so the most advanced projects, to push them into industrialization. But it's important for us to grow the pipeline of the projects and the evaluations with players from US, from Europe, and from selected Asian countries. And here, looking at the top, the most advanced projects, I already covered the project with a Chinese partner, but also want to mention these projects that are at stage 4, so the pre-industrialization, just pre-industrialization stage. These are with partners in Korea, USA, and in Taiwan. They are also active currently, and they have been active in our first quarter of the year. And we continue to expect that all of these 3 have a significant probability to be successful. And it is not excluded that 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 might convert into industrialization still this year. Our, let's say, most probable scenario for today is that 1 of these projects will convert into industrialization still this calendar year, but we're not excluding the possibility that this will be 2 or more. The decision and the dynamic about this industrialization is not something XTPL team controls. It's fully in the hands of not even our direct customer, but the end user and their technology roadmap, their rollout dynamics of the new technologies, and the investment processes that they are taking. So we need to patiently wait in line and deliver the technological developments as they are required. But we do not have much impact on the dynamic when the final decision about industrialization will take place. Now, commenting on our other business development activities other than the industrialization focuses. As you know, we are a company with the big ambition of becoming a global player, global supplier of solutions for manufacturing of modern electronics. And we're doing this global rollout of our technology already. So we have successfully delivered products and services to customers in over 20 countries in North America, in Europe, and in selected Asia countries over the last years. We're accessing the customers either directly with our internal sales teams or via our distribution partners who are also helping us to access customers who are far away from our headquarters, who are in certain industries where maybe we're not yet visible enough. And currently we're working with 17 distribution partners that are supporting our processes at increasing visibility and understanding of XTPL technology to the global markets. Not all of these distributors are very successful, to be honest with us. Some of them are early, are young with XTPL, so they need more time to grow understanding of our products and grow the traction with the customers. Some may not be, some of the older, let's say, distributors may not be the best fit, and maybe at some point we will need to part ways because the relationship is not working. But all in all, we trust that this way of accessing customers, accessing the customers via selected distributors who understand the local region, who understand the local market, is the right way for us to grow traction and visibility on the global front. Last year, we opened the first demonstration and sales office in US, so outside of Europe, outside of Poland. We selected Boston, and this was a very good first year of operation of our demo center, where we reached the break-even already on the first year of operation. We sold we delivered 5 systems alone in the year 24 in the North America territory. And we're continuing one industrialization project with a significant NASDAQ 100 listed entity in US. One good thing about having a US office, which is that we can shorten the distance, the cultural distance, but also the confidentiality distance to some of the customers there. Not all of the customers may travel to Poland to run demonstration. Not all of the customers can send their confidential technological samples to Poland for evaluation, but they can do tests in US, they can do tests in Boston, and that is what helps us drive new projects that otherwise we would not have access to. And one example of such a project is this project where we sold our first Delta printing system to a defense contractor in the United States. That would not have been possible without the presence in US, and we're happy about it that the defense industry in US is starting to recognize our solution and gains interest in our solution, and we already see additional customers from the defense industry in our potential pipeline of opportunities for the sales in the next periods. Our Delta printing system is already a quite mature product. We delivered over close to 40 systems now to global customers, and only in the first quarter we delivered 2 systems to our users. And as I mentioned, we also accepted the first order for the system to the defense industry contractor, which is very important for us to open this new chapter, open this new doors for new type of customers. We're now also in advanced process of working with external contract manufacturing partner who can help us significantly grow the production capacity for these systems. We're now entering a phase where a testing production will take place with the selected contract manufacturer. And later this year, we expect, after successful testing production, we expect announcing that we have now a selected contract manufacturer who can take over manufacturing of the Delta printing systems for us. And this will rapidly grow our production capacity. At the same time, our internal production capacities will be moved towards the industrial implementation projects where we're manufacturing UPD modules. Our historical development shows that we have much more POs, so purchase orders accepted and deliveries executed in the second half of the year than in the first half of the year. Usually the first half of the year is for us incubating the deals, working on them, but most of them are closing rather in the second half of the year. So please expect rather a bigger sales number of these systems in the second half of the year rather in the first half of this year. We're also working on a new product line. We call it Delta Printing System Plus. This is a code name, just a temporary name. This is to fill in the blank position between the industrial projects where we go for large volume manufacturing, millions of products being produced every year. On the other hand, we have our Delta printing system for just research and development activities, but not production capacity. And in the middle, we have recognized there is a void, there is a chance, there is an opportunity for us to bring a solution for high mix, low volume manufacturing, for special production of maybe 1,000, a few hundred parts every year of high value, of high customization need. And such a product need came to us from our current users. We expect to have a first purchase order for the systems to be accepted still this calendar year, but we expect the delivery and the revenue recognition of this new business line only to be visible in the year 26. So we are not expecting revenue recognition from this business line this year yet. And this is our product portfolio. As you see currently, we have our high performance materials, essentially inks for our high resolution printing systems, which are supporting materials so far to help us drive the sale of the machines. Then you have a machine for research and development. There is a module for high volume industrial applications. And in the middle, we're developing the DPS Plus for high mix, low volume applications.
Okay, let's talk about the financial results. Commercial sales in first quarter 2025 are lower than in the previous year, but it should be noted that the order from the Chinese partner doesn't contribute significantly in the first quarter. And most of the modules ordered will be delivered in the second and the third quarters. This is not due to delays on XTPL side, but to the customer's delivery schedule. However, the sales value is lower than expected. This is largely due to unstable situation in the US and the freezing of grants for academic customers. We have not lost these customers, but orders may be postponed this year. After a period of intensive growth as an organization, this year will be stable in terms of operating costs. They may decrease slightly, but they will certainly not increase. We are now an organization that is able to deliver the devices to industry. The first order from a Chinese partner has already shown that the market has a positive opinion, not only for our technology, but also for our organization. Key investments have been made. We are planning to open 2 demo centers in Asia, but we expect that the local companies achieve a break-even over the 12 months, like the company in the US. And we are currently analyzing markets and suitable partners. This graphic shows the main flows in our cash flow and confirms the scale of investment in the development of XTPL. Growing sales should gradually flatten this chart, providing cash inflows. We are already in talks with a Chinese partner about the second tranche of UPD modules. We also forecast that this year we'll move into commercialization phase of our second industrial project. The delivery of equipment for industry will strengthen recurring sales of consumables. We estimate that in 26, our sales will be strengthened by a new product, DPS Plus, dedicated to industrial use for small production series. A brief reminder of the company strategy for 2023-26. We want to grow our business fast. The main driver of this growth is the sales of UPD modules as a result of completing industrial projects. This product group is characterized by multiple orders from a single customer over a period about 3-5 years. To achieve this, XTPL has developed key areas: sales, production, R&D, and 2024 was a year of intensive development of the company as an organization, and the work done and the investments made are beginning to bear fruit this and next year. Achieving this ambitious goal requires us to make a huge effort and fundamentally change our organization. This is already happening. As an organization, we are in a completely different place than we were 2 years ago. We are ready to serve industrial customers on a large scale, and we are fighting for these contracts. Thank you for your attention, and we are waiting for your comments or questions.
Thank you for the presentation. As a reminder, you can send your questions to us via the chat box on your device, either is it laptop or the mobile device. Now, the first two questions. Is the Chinese end customer interested in other possible projects using XTPL technology?
Yes, so all of our industrial projects have a character of working with big corporations who are our direct customers. And these big corporations, they have exposure to multiple end user needs and potentially to multiple projects. So this is also the case with our Chinese partner. He sees that XTPL technology has a value that can go beyond this particular project of this particular end customer in flat panel display industry. And I will remind you that this particular project is about yield management, so a repair of components inside of the production line that are out of spec to increase the production output of the production line and decrease the scrap material that is not meeting the very demanding specifications. So this particular customer is now in the process of trusting us with this first industrial implementation. And we really treasure that, and we really respect that they are taking this first leap of faith, of course, after a lot of technological evaluation, but still they are the first industrial partner who is pushing our technology to industrial reality beyond evaluation. And they know that our technology has a potential to be useful in other of the projects they see on the market, but they want to take it step by step. And I think this is the reasonable way to do it, that they first want to have a successful landing and delivery of this particular project, making sure that XTPL solution together with their solution, that we can work successfully to deliver the total solution to the end customer, that everything runs smoothly. And this will increase their appetite and open their minds to introduce us to other potential projects. This is what we expect, not only in the project in China, by the way, but also in other industrialization projects. But we also have to accept that this will be done step by step. So first, let's deliver this first industrial implementation. Let's show that everything is working well. And this builds more trust. This builds more readiness to work on even more demanding and maybe bigger projects for the future. And this is also, let's say, a first step in a 1,000-step journey that we are going to take with each of the industrial partners for the future.
Thank you very much. The next question is a request for a clarification. Were sales for the 2 modules out of the 6 modules that were shipped to your display customer in first quarter of 2025 booked as revenues in first quarter of 2025?
No. In first quarter was booked only the first module from dedicated to Chinese partner, and the two DPSs for the US and for the Cambridge University. And the next modules will be booked in the second and in the third quarters.
Thank you very much. The next question, outsourcing of Delta printing system devices with external partner, how it can impact your margin and capacity?
Yeah, so first of all, maybe on the capacity, our goal when outsourcing the manufacturing of Delta printing system to external partner is to enable larger volume manufacturing of a product that is already quite mature. As I said, we delivered close to 40 of these systems to our customers over the last years, and we expect this product to be already pretty mature and ready for external contract manufacturers to support the scaling of the production capacities. And at the same time, this will free up our internal production capacities so that we can internally work on a still a little bit less mature product, which is the UPD module. We have just now the first industrialization project, and we will first focus on manufacturing these modules in-house before we will outsource them to external contractors. So it will help us to rapidly grow the production capacity. I mean, the outsourcing, it will help us to be more efficient with management of our inventory, maybe a quicker turnaround cycles in terms of faster production and delivery to the customer. But at the same time, we actually do not expect any penalty for us in terms of lower sales margins. Why is that? This is because our contract manufacturing partner has a much bigger scale of operation, has a much bigger scale in terms of ordering components from the supply chain. So they can make the production actually essentially more efficient. You can read it as cheaper than we can do it in-house. So they can have their profit margin on the production. And essentially the cost to us, the cost to XTPL, the manufacturing costs will be similar to what we do internally. So having the same final price to the end user will protect our margin to stay at the same level. So we don't expect any decrease in the margins because of this outsourcing of production.
Okay, thank you. The next question, the 20% minimum EBITDA margin in 2026 potentially depends on the mix between the different products. Can you give a rough ballpark for each of the business lines?
Yes, maybe we can go back to one of the slides. I think this will be helpful. Yes, so this is where you see both our EBITDA goal, but EBITDA goal is only achievable if the revenue target is met. So this needs to be said very clearly that EBITDA will be a function of reaching our sales target, because only at this scale we will start to see a positive effect of EBITDA. And the sales targets are a mixture of, as the investor asked, it's a mix of various product lines, business lines. But the key driver, the key growth engine for XTPL is around industrial implementation. So this is, if you look at the graph, this will be the light blue color, where 45 to 55% of our target revenue, when we reach 100 million Polish zloty, would be coming just from sale of UPD modules for industrial implementations. And that's what can happen only if we have not just one industrial implementation, as we started early this year, but we assume that we need at least two industrial implementations, so we can have the right up curve of selling of the UPD modules. Of course, the more the better for our growth, but we still need to deliver at least one more industrial implementation this year to be in this trajectory to to have a possibility of meeting this target. However, it's not only going to be industrial implementation. This we will also have contribution for our current product Delta printing system, which helps us to attract new users to the technology who are more on the research and development side. The Delta printing system will help us popularize our technology, bring more credibility and awareness to our technology, because most of the DPS users are happy to talk loudly on the global stage, whether scientific breakthrough conferences or technological shows. They are happy to showcase nice results that they achieved using our product. So this helps in our marketing activities. So we want to support this business line further. And also in this yellow part of the box, you will also see already from next year contribution from the DPS Plus. So the standalone system for high mix, low volume manufacturing for the users that are not targeting millions of products being produced, but more like hundreds or thousands being produced every year, and they need an automated solution, a professional solution for that. And this is a solution we're incubating currently. Finally, and at this still early stage of our industrialization, the upsell of our recurring revenue of our modules, of our inks and nozzles and consumables. So essentially the materials that people use after they buy the machine. This will be still a rather smaller portion of our cake, maybe up to 10%, but this will grow over time after our installation base over the next years. So installation base means how many systems are out there in the field and how many of the systems are using our materials constantly. Then we will expect that the contribution of this recurring revenue from upselling our inks and consumables will be growing and will be bigger than maybe 5 to 10%, but this will be in a longer perspective than the next year.
Thank you for the explanation. The next topic is, again, industrial implementations. Any additional industrial implementations planned for 2025? If so, which project has the highest probability, in your opinion?
Yeah, so maybe I can back up also to the slide where we were talking about the most advanced industrialization projects, and we covered the Chinese one as already being implemented. This Chinese one, as discussed in the first question, can multiply into new projects with this partner, but that's maybe the next stage. But next to the Chinese, we have a project in Korea, US, and in Taiwan. I would say each of these three projects has a potential to convert into this ultimate industrialization stage still this year, but we are not expecting all three of them to convert. So today, if I have to give you the temperature of these three projects, and that's our internal interpretation of what we hear from the partners, it's not yet a strong commitment, but our internal interpretation is that for the moment, the Taiwanese project around semiconductor, about advanced packaging in semiconductor, with one of the global leading manufacturers of semiconductor elements, this one has a really interesting dynamic since the beginning of the year. So we're quite encouraged by this one. But I'm not going to place any significant bets for one against the other, because as I also mentioned in one of the earlier comments, is that we are not, as XTPL, we are not the drivers of the dynamics. We are playing and we're trying to deliver as fast as possible the technological information, the implementation, the testing results, the capability to run prototype machines in the facility of our end user. This is what we can do, and we deliver it as fast as possible. But the decision-making process is not just based on how fast we deliver certain results, but also how fast these results are being transported to the decision makers, how fast these decision makers can connect the dots between our results and the technology roadmap of their particular organization, and when particular investment cycles is going to take place. So to be honest, we are not always the critical part in this big labyrinth of decision makers. So we have to patiently wait for these dynamics, and that's why it's also difficult for us to say which one of these projects will be the next and when exactly will it happen. But again, if I would need to make a soft bet, I would say that this Taiwanese project has the highest temperature currently and looks very promising.
Okay. As I do not see any further question, I think this answer can conclude our today conference results. Thank you to every participant of our call. Please stay with us in touch through our investor relations website. And for the last words, I will proceed to the Filip Granek, CEO of XTPL.
Thank you again, Mardoniusz, and thank you everyone for joining and participating. Thank you for your questions. We encourage you to follow us not just on the classical investor communication channels, but also via our social media, especially our LinkedIn account. We always try to put some additional flavors, some of our activities there. So please, if you're interested, follow this channel as well. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for your questions.
Thank you very much.